Hello everyone. I welcome you all to another episode on JMeter performance testing. Today in this video, let's see how to do correlation. I believe you would have watched my previous video on parameterization, and if you have not watched it, please check the link in the description, and if you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe to my channel Little's Law. Once again, I welcome you all to my channel, and let's start the correlation by first recording a script. I'm using the same web page that we are using regularly for our demo purpose. I'm now entering into the store. And now we have got a challenge that we were not able to proceed due to some certificate authority invalid, and let's see how to fix it. So if you all remember, when we did our Apache installation, we have got a certificate from Apache for the root certificate installation. Let's try to install it and see whether the issue has been solved. So let's now try to install it. I'm clicking on install certificate, and you can see here the certificate is valid from 17th to 24. I'm clicking on current user, next, and I'm finishing it. The import was successful. Let's now try again and see whether the issue is solved. So we have got the new browser. Let me try from the beginning. Let's stop this previous recording. Then let's start a new one. I'm clicking on start, and I'm clicking on OK. And let's go to the landing page. And now let's enter into the store and see whether the issue or the challenge is solved. So this time let's try another option to fix this certificate issue. What I did was I have gone to the Apache JMeter file, double click it, and I install the certificate to the local machine. I click on next, again S, and I selected next again, finish, and the import was successful. So to once verify how to see where does this certificate is, let me show you how to do it, how to check whether the certificate has been properly installed. I have clicked this button, the three dots, and then I'm going to the settings option. So here if we search for certificates, we can find this security option, and under this where we can click manage certificates, and under trusted root certificate we can see this JMeter root certificate authority or the root certificate CA for recording is installed, and it is valid till 24th of October. So this is how we have fixed this issue, and let's go back for the recording now. But before I go on to show you how to do the correlation in JMeter, let me do a brush up of what is correlation and why are we doing it. So basically correlation is the process of extracting some value, basically that is a dynamic value, from the response of one step into the request of the another step. So what we are going to do is we are going to capture and store a dynamic response from the server and pass it on to the subsequent request. So you might have a question. So what can be a dynamic value? So any value, something like a session ID could be dynamic, or any value that is been changing in the requests and the response are the dynamic values. So any value that returns different data for each iterating request that occasionally affects the successive request. And this correlation is a crucial process during performance load test because we are going to handle a huge number of requests, and if we are not handling the correlation, the script will totally be useless, and again the load test is going to be of no use. So before we do the correlation, let me just give you a brief look on why do we need to do correlation. So correlation is one of the most important aspects in scripting. So what it does is it fetches the dynamic data from the preceding request and posts it to the subsequent request. Say for example, we have a user who enter his login details and clicks the OK button, and the home page is getting opened and the user takes further actions. So when we log into a website, say for example, we logged into the pet store website and the session variables are dynamically created, and these session variables are passed to the subsequent request and help validation and authentication of the actions performed. And here we need to correlate the web request with the dynamic variable, and otherwise the test will fail. And for that correlation, we need to use a regular expression extractor. So far we have seen how to fix the certificate issue, and to give a demo on correlation, I have selected a new different website where we can see how to do the correlation. And let me start with recording the script, and I will paste this URL in the description for you to try recording and try all other parameterization and correlation. So let's now try with the script recording. So let me start the recording. So let's now start the recording. I'm clicking on OK. Let's now first start with the landing page. And here is the URL of the application that we are going to try today. And let's now sign into the application. And I'm clicking on login. So we have successfully logged into the application, and now let's log out. So we have now successfully logged out of the application, and let's see how to do the correlation in the script. Let me stop the recording, and we have these pages recorded, and let's see how the validation goes for the script. So let's now see the validation and also find how the script works. So here we have the login page or the landing page we have, and we have this J session ID that's going to be the dynamic value, and we have to correlate this value since this is the one that is going to be changed in each and every iteration. So now to bring two different sessions, two different unique sessions, let's try to log into the application with different users. So to do that, I am going to parameterize the script with two users. So first is one at gmail.com and the second one is going to be two at gmail.com. So let's see how to configure that. So to do that, we have to add the config element, the CSV dataset config, which we have seen already in our demo video. So let me now complete this and I will show you the validation part. So I have configured the user login with two users with a CSV file where we have the two username and password, and this is the CSV format of that, and I have replaced that in the script. Since we have dealt all these in our previous script, so I'm not taking much time in this. So I have replaced this with the username and password, and let's do a validation. So we are going to log in with the two users. So first is with the user one and second is going to be with the user two, and let's see how does it run. So here we have the first iteration that start running. And here we have the response body, and we have logged in successfully as the user one, and in the next page we can see the user has been logged in as successfully as user two, but then we are facing some errors, which is 500 status, 500 HTTPS response codes, and let's try to fix it. And that's why we have to do this correlation, and let's see how to do it in this script. So first we have to identify the value that is being dynamically generated. So first is this value that is just J session ID. So you can see here it ends with 5B3 here, and yeah, so let's replace that value and see where it has been occurred. So here in this URL we can see the session ID value. So let's replace that. And so to first extract that, we have to add that extractor here. So that is step 2. So let's extract that. So to extract it, let's add a post processor by right clicking on the HTTPS request, and let's add a regular expression extractor. So we have this regular expression extractor here, and we are going to extract from the body of the response. So let's once confirm it. So we are able to see this both in the request response header and in the response body. So let's go to the response header and we will take the value from here. So this is going to be the value that we are going to replace. So and that is present in the response header. So let's try to correlate this value by selecting this regular expressions, the left and the right boundary, and let's go to this regular expression extractor and let's name it as J session ID, since that is the value that we are going to replace. And let's select this response header, and that is where the value is present. And then to test the regular expression whether it is working fine, we have an option of doing it. So we can give the expression here, and we can do this regular expression. We can select this regular expression and check whether the value will get selected. Let's try it again. So we have to change this regular expression here. So let's try this regular expression, and we have this as the right boundary, that is J session ID equal to the left boundary, and then we have this semicolon as the right boundary. Let's click find. So we can extract the value which is found inside, and let's use this expression in the regular expression extractor, and then choose one in the matching random number. Here the template has to be dollar symbol, one, and dollar symbol. So it's now time to replace it. So let's now go to the request, and we can replace it with dollar, the open curly bracket, and J session ID. So we have replaced it now. So we can also check whether it has been populated in any of the other values. So let's check the other steps as well. So now it looks fine. Let's run the script and see how does it work. In fact, we have it here also. Okay, let's run the script and see how does it work. So again, we are getting the error in this logout page since we have missed in the request body. So to find that, I have come to the request section, that is the header section here, and here I can see this session ID value. So I'm replacing it here also with J session ID, and let's now run it. Before that, let me check whether is that being okay. So now we are good, and let's now run another iteration of the test. Let's do a validation check. So even after replacing this session ID, we are still facing this issue, or we are still facing this error. And we have found out that there is one more value, that is the view state value, that has to be replaced. So let's now try to correlate that value as well, and we can find this value in the response data. In the response data of the first request, that is a view state. So here we have this value that needs to be correlated, and this is going to be the regular expression of it. So let's now select this value, and we will create another regular expression in the same way we have created for the J session ID. So we are adding the post processor, which is a regular expression extractor, and it is going to be view state. Let's see where does that come. So it comes in the response body. Even let us check in the response header as well. No, so it is in the response body. So let's select the response body as the value, as the scope. We can have it as body, and then the regular expression is going to be this, and the values which are inside this double quotes will be replaced with the regular expression. Let's add the template as well, and then the value is going to be the first one. Anyways, let's once check it here in the regular expression check. So we have various other values also, so we have to be very careful in selecting it. So let's now add a different left boundary to it. Let's add some more values to the left side of it, and I think this should work. Let's now find it, and yes, we are now able to get the correct value, and let us use this as the regular expression. So now we are done with the regular expression. So let's now replace it in the script. So we have this here as well. And we will replace it in the subsequent request also. And let's now run the script and validate whether the correlation is working fine. So yes, we have successfully did the correlation, and yes, it is little difficult to find these values, but going forward, once you start practicing it, it will be a very easy task. And yes, we have successfully completed and the response pages are working fine. So with this, we come to an end for this correlation. We will meet with another interesting video in our next session. Thank you so much. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel Little's Law.